You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about going with the flow. You know, sometimes life just gets us all in a rut, in a frenzy, and how do we just let it go and let life wash over us and not be so worried about the what ifs and what could have been, and just go with the flow. That's what we're going to talk about today. So we definitely want to hear from you. If you have a challenge that you're facing in your life, feel free to call in at 800-333-0001. I'm standing by here to give you some life coaching advice to help move you forward. Also, coming up in our next segment, we have a gentleman who so many people know from his creation of P90X, a very famous fitness program. His name is Tony Horton, and he has such inspiring messages that he's going to share with us, some related to being an entrepreneur, to following his passion, to where he goes next in his life, how you leave a legacy in your life. And he definitely had to go with the flow, so he'll share with us his story. Also, if you're looking to connect with us and share your story, or if you have questions on today's topic, reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Again, that's connect@livingfullout.com. We'll make sure to get back in touch with you. And lastly, we want to make it so accessible for you to hear this show whenever you'd like. So we actually have an iPhone app, Android app. We are also on Alexa. So if you have any of those avenues for which you'd like to hear our show, feel free to download those apps. You can go to livingfullout.com, click on our radio show tab, and all the instructions for how to do that will be there for you. And most of all, we're just dedicated each week here to making sure that you are empowered, that you are living your life full out. So I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go ahead and say hello to them. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for joining us. How can we help you today?
Well, I'm in my early 20s. I've had some flings, nothing serious, but now that I look around, I see my friends are all getting engaged or falling in love, and I'm just wondering what exactly I might be doing wrong.
Oh, you know what? I love that you're asking this question because you're doing nothing wrong. Do you know that people ante up and they get married, or they fall in love, maybe they move in together, they break up? People go in and out of relationships all the time, so nobody has it figured out, okay? Even your friends that you see coupling up, getting engaged, getting married, we want to always wish them the best, but who knows, right? That may be a long life relationship, it might not. So don't compare yourself to other people. Try to just focus on you and what makes you happy. So if you were to have an ideal partner, what would that look like? What would that person look like? Any physical attributes?
Well, I feel like it is
okay.
But I don't really have anything in mind.
Okay, so what you want to do, there's two things to that. On one hand, it's great that you have nothing in mind because now you're open to anybody and everybody. But you also might start to think, okay, my crushes over the years, what were the similarities in their looks? What did they look like? What did I like about them? Like when I think about the different men that I've dated over the years, they've all had an entrepreneurial spirit. They've all been probably 5'10" or taller. You know, you kind of start to piece together what fires you up, what gets you excited. And then you want to couple that with what are your passions and interests. So for example, if you like to hike and camp, then you want to find someone who also enjoys outdoor interests. It isn't to say that opposites can attract, but hey, you're putting together your ideal wish, right?
Yeah.
So it's starting to put together, what does that look like? And then I'm a big fan of dating in many forms. So I think online dating is great. All these new apps on the phone, perfect. And when you sign up for them, once you have your kind of ideal of what kind of you're looking for, then it makes that process even more fun. And so I would definitely look into that. I would join clubs at school if you're in school, or, even do groups like meetup.com and just really put yourself out there and let people know that you're open to love. When I've been dating in the past, I've always said to people, I love love. I come from a family where my grandfather was married for over 70 years of his life. And most of my family gobbles love up. So you want to look at who are the role models in your family. And so if you're with somebody, share about those role models. Does that kind of all make sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
But the most exciting thing is the fact that that great love is still coming your way. Because you've had the flings, right? There's nothing more exciting than getting ready, right? You got the butterflies in your stomach. You're trying to figure out what to wear.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that? So put yourself out there. Allow yourself to have those winning moments. You're going to have some dates that are going to be exciting, and others are going to be like, oh, I wish I had stayed inside. But you want to put yourself out there. That's what living full out's about. Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're going to think about you. Everybody, the whole audience, wish her love. We're all going to put positive energy your way, and keep us posted. Let us know how it goes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
I love that she's asking about how can I, engage in my life? How can I go with the flow, but yet also have some control over what I want in my life? And she wants love, and there's no reason why she can't have that. So I'm excited for her, and I would definitely want her to keep us updated. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we have another caller. We're going to say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, thank you for calling. How can we help you?
Hi, I was just calling because I am trying to balance I have an internship and 2 jobs and schoolwork. I am taking a couple classes this summer, and I feel like I have a lot on my plate, but I don't want to let people down and tell them I can't help or do stuff. So I'm just not really sure what to do.
You're making me tired just thinking about it. I get it. I get it, right? Some days we feel like we're a juggler. We have all these balls in the air and we don't want to drop one. So Let me ask you a question. How good are you at saying no?
Not good.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. People look at no as a negative word. And yes, it can be, but it's not always. I erase the word no, I cross it out, and you want to replace it with not right now. So if somebody asks you to do something, you don't have to say no, but you can say not right now.
Right.
Kind of buffer yourself. Give yourself a little bit of time. Also, life is full of negotiations, right? So you can negotiate how many classes you take and how much time that requires. You can negotiate with your internship. What is the minimum number of hours I can do, yet still stay with your company and get the experience? You can negotiate with yourself, when you work out, when you eat, when you study.
Right.
And most importantly, you are one of many of us, I'm raising my hand, who needs a schedule, right? That is the only way to stay clear-headed, go with the flow, and be able to, make those commitments happen. So are you doing all those things?
I try to, but not always.
Okay, so let's look right there at that word try. I try to. I want you to be more assertive. I will. I can. Yeah. Okay? So the great thing is everything is in your control. So when you're having a day where you feel like life is overwhelming, out of control, and oh my gosh, all these people need me, that's kind of because you got yourself there, right?
Right.
But you have the same power to backpedal, renegotiate, say, not right now, and keep a schedule, and then you'll be fine. You really will. So the great news is all this anxiety, all this worry, it can be put in check, but it's got to start with you.
Right.
And I say you start it today. Kick off that new week less stressed. All right?
Yep. Sounds awesome.
And remember, no more tries. I can, I will, I am.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And for everybody who's listening, those are such great questions. Keep those calls coming. We'll take more of them later on in our show. Coming up, though, in our next segment is our inspirational guest today, Tony Horton, creator of P90X, fitness guru. But he didn't start that way. He had to build his life, find his purpose, execute a plan, just like we all do. So nobody's got it figured out. It's just about putting yourself out there, doing the best you can. That's what Living Full Out is all about. So stay with us. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we'll be coming right back with Tony Horton. Stay tuned.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Don't you wish that getting your child to eat right, move more, and spend less time in front of a screen could be as easy as pushing a button? It might not be that simple, but you do have more power than you know. And you can maximize that power with proven strategies, tips, and tools from the National Institutes of Health's We Can, or Ways to Enhance Children's Activity and Nutrition program. We Can offers all kinds of resources, including fun recipes and activities the family can do together to show you the way to live a healthier lifestyle. We're not saying it's easy. We are saying that it can be done. Take the first step today. Call 1-866-359-3226 for a free We Can Parents Handbook. And be sure to visit the We Can website at wecan.nhlbi.nih.gov for free information too. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite. Look out! And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about going with the flow. And that sometimes that's easier said than done, right? Things get in our path and it's like, oh, that wasn't what I expected, or that's not what I wanted. And that's just life. But how do you hurdle over those challenges? How do you go under them, over them, around them? How do you get past them? Well, that's why we have inspirational guests on the show to share with us how they did it. And today we have Tony Horton. He is a fitness guru. If you probably know his program, P90X, that he created, one that I've even tried. Truly an amazing program that anybody can still purchase today. And I'd like to welcome Tony to the show so he can share with us his story. So hi, Tony.
Hello, Nancy. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, I think a lot of times people hear about you or someone at your level and they think, well, they just had it all. They had it all together. It was easy for them. But that wasn't the case for you. I know you grew up not athletically, gifted. You even had a speech impediment. You had a lot of challenges going on. And, what was it when you finally came from back east from Connecticut to Los Angeles? What was it that finally allowed you to look at fitness in a different way than you had seen it as a child?
Well, boy, Nancy, you've done your research. You know me well. Probably better than my wife, it sounds like. Oh. But, the funny thing is, when I grew up as a kid, you're right, I had that speech impediment. We moved 6 times before 5th grade. I was sort of the smallest, weakest kid every time, we were picking teams. And, the big transition for me from east to west was that when I came to California, it was a different lifestyle back in 1980, 81 when I arrived. Everybody was exercising. Of course, it's sunny here 342 days out of the year. So, the mountains are local. You can go ski and surf in the same day, and people are playing beach volleyball, and they were bodybuilding gyms and aerobic gyms. And when I was a kid, everything was about sports. Either you were good at sports or you weren't. It was basketball, baseball, hockey, football. There was no rock climbing or mountain biking and things like that. And so when I came out here, I discovered these new ways of training and exercising, and I fell in love with it. Whereas on the East Coast, it was a grind. The coaches were screaming and yelling at you to perform at a level that I couldn't perform at. And so that was the big switch for me.
Well, and I think you found that, as much as you are a team player in life, when it came to working out, you kind of liked doing it individually, which I think is fine. You kind of found your way and found your passion for working out through doing it just one gym at a time. Now, it's interesting because with your story, you were actually looking to be an actor. You had done many different jobs, but, hoping that big break would come, which it kind of did in an interesting form. You got that job at 20th Century Fox as a runner, but then that opened your door to finding your first fitness client. How did that work out?
Well, I was a PA, production assistant over at Fox, and I'm delivering scripts and making coffee and feeding the cat. I mean, you name it, they had me running around. But my boss at that time, a guy by the name of Harlan Goodman, he was slightly overweight, and I was starting to train. I had an agent at that point in my acting career, and my agent said, hey, if you want to get more work, you might want to get rid of that little belly and build up your arms and stuff. And so my boss, Harlan, noticed, from the first day I was working there to about 3 months later, he noticed that I was changing, physically changing. And so he said, hey, look, you're different than you were when I hired you. What are you doing? And so I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. I just was basically showing him what I was doing, and I got him in pretty good shape. And, Harlan lost about 45 pounds, and he got rid of his belly, and he was feeling much better. And then one day in Hollywood, he ran into Tom Petty in the hallway. Tom went, hey, Harlan, you look great. There's my Tom Petty impression. Thank you very much.
Right, love it.
And I had Tom for about 4 months, and I got him ready for this tour, and no one had ever seen Tom look like that and perform at that level. And then the phone just rang off the hook at that point.
Well, so I got to ask you, I'm not looking to lose 45 pounds, but what was the secret sauce at that point? I mean, you weren't where you were with P90X yet. You were still trying to figure it out yourself, but what was those ingredients to just getting in shape at that time?
Well, early on in my career, I knew that the three things that caused people to stop exercising or not get the results they wanted was boredom. A lot of people were repeating the same things over and over again, and they were kind of getting bored. Another thing was injury. That's doing the same things over and over again often cause injuries because you don't have enough variety. And then when people stop seeing results, we call it plateauing. And so as a kid who came from east to west, I knew that sort of intuitively. I said, I just want to run track, and then I want to do yoga, and then I want to do Pilates, and I want to go to the bodybuilding gym, and then I want to do the cardio thing. And so that's what I did with Harlan. That's what I did with Tom. We called it muscle confusion and P90X, but what it was helping those two and all the clients and the millions of people who have bought my program since is understand that variety is truly the spice of fitness because you're going to avoid the boredom, the injuries, and the plateaus, and you're going to be forced, no matter who you are, whether you're a cardio junkie or a bodybuilder, you're going to be forced to work on your weaknesses. And when you work on your weaknesses, as difficult as that is, if you stick with it, you avoid those three things, and you get awesome results.
Oh, good tips. Everybody listen to that. Plus, I know that you're a big fan of just eating what is natural, what is green, what your great grandparents would have ate. But what was the nutrition that you were putting in your body at that time?
Well, at that time, it was more like Dr. Pepper's, double cheese chimichangas, hot dogs, Egg McMuffins. I was 20, 21, 20, maybe 26, 27 at that point, and I had a pretty high metabolism. I'm an ectomorph, which means I'm naturally pretty skinny because my parents made a skinny kid. But so that was a big change for me. I'm sorry, I got a handyman here in my room all of a sudden.
And I have a handyman in my room. No, I'm kidding. I don't. But I guess
that was really the big change for me. I learned that natural foods was all the difference. That's what my great grandparents were doing, and it made a huge difference for me. And I got away from the processed food and the sugar and the salt and the chemicals. That was the big deal. That was the big change.
It's really having that discipline, though, to make those changes, because it seems like with your boss at 20th Century Fox, with Tom Petty, the only way that they were able to evolve into that body shape was to give it up, to give up foods that weren't serving them, to kind of go with the flow and work out in the different ways that you had them do, the variety, getting over boredom.
Well, it was a combination of those two things. I mean, if you look at the healthcare crisis as it is right now, it's not as a result of people who aren't exercising enough. It's a result of people who can't control their hands and their mouth. And unfortunately, we're partly to blame, but there's a lot of food manufacturers that care about their bottom dollar more than our health, and we've gotten addicted to these foods that are filled with fat, sugar, salt, and chemicals. And so it's not easy to make that transition back to healthy, clean, organic, single-ingredient type of foods, because our palates are so messed up from all that garbage. It took me 6 months to get off of sugar. It was not easy, but once I did, it made a huge difference for me. But even for me, for somebody who does this for a living, found that to be very difficult.
Well, and I hear you. I need to give up Mountain Dew, so I am with you on that one. But Tony, stay with us because we have a lot more to your story that I want to share, and you have so much great information to give us, to get us in shape. So everybody stay with us. Tony will be coming back after this commercial break. But today we're talking about going with the flow, yet being determined and focused and really realizing what do you want for your life so that you can really live full out. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan, and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee, and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about how to go with the flow in life when even it is sometimes hard to do, but it's possible. And a lot of that comes from having role models, people that we can look to and say, how did you do it? And that's why we have our inspirational guest today, Tony Horton, on the show, creator of P90X, a very famous fitness program. So I'd like to bring us right back into his interview. So hi, Tony.
Hello, Nancy.
Hi. You know, today we're talking about going with the flow. And sometimes when people have a vision for their life, a career goal, a life desire, it's how do I get that? How do those pieces come together? Is it just luck, or do you have to work for it? And how is it that you did align yourself with the CEO of Beachbody? Because that was a major door that got opened for you to get you in alignment to create P90X.
Well, you know, before I got into health and fitness, there was a really important transitional period for me from when I left college in 1980, and I started reading a lot of personal development books. You know, Richard Carlson, Andrew Weil, Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins. I got really, because I didn't get that back in school, back in New England. And you know, whatever resonated with me, I just attacked, and whatever it didn't, I just ignored. And so that's really how I got started. Just having a greater understanding for who I am and what my purpose was and what my plan was going to be, and not procrastinating as much. And when I went through that period, I think that's where most of my gains really came from.
Mm. And in fact, it was one book that gave you one challenge that you ran with that did open that door for you. What was that question? What was that challenge that you took on?
The question in that book was, go out of your way and do something. Because, it was a book that gave you little lessons at the end of every chapter. Nothing too dramatic, but on this particular chapter, it was go out of your way and do something extraordinary for somebody that you're in conflict with. And I thought to myself, wow, I don't even do extraordinary things for people I like, so this will be weird. And it said, don't be attached to the outcome. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. That's what makes the world go round. That's what karma is all about. And so there's this guy I played basketball with. He was a lawyer, and he was kind of a tough guy. I didn't really get along with him very well. He didn't like me very much. But he was overweight, and between some basketball games, he was complaining about his weight. And I thought, well, okay, here's my opportunity to go up to him and say, hey, Ben, I can help you lose some weight. Thinking for sure he'd say, hey, no thanks. And I did. I went up to him and I said, hey, I've been training Tom Petty, Billy Idol, Bruce Springsteen, some others, and I've had some great results with them, and maybe I can help you lose that 35, 40 pounds. And without hesitation, he said, oh, my God, that'd be great. Do you have a time slot for me? I just so happened to have one. Saw him the following Monday. A year later, he introduced me to Carl Deichler, who's now the CEO of Beachbody. And so if I hadn't read that book and followed that little request at the end of the book, I would have never met Carl, and who knows where I'd be today.
And that's just letting life flow. That's just letting it unfold. And I love that. And it's at that point when you were able to take the fitness regimen that you had created and really had a passion for and create P90X, which I'll tell y'all, the audience here, I purchased P90X and I've done it. It is a really hard program. And it was really hard because obviously being legally blind, I couldn't exactly see Tony, but you were really good at giving commands. When you said right, I went right and I was with you. So he's a great instructor. Yeah.
Well, thank you. One of the keys to, an on-camera trainer is cueing, and we call it cueing or instructions. But having had two left feet and being, small and non-athletic, I didn't get those great cues, that great training from coaches, And when I took a weightlifting class at URI when I was there, and there was something extraordinary about that teacher for that class that was so different than all my coaches prior, is the way he broke things down. He made it incredibly easy to follow, and so I took his cue, and I continue to try to be able to communicate how to do a particular exercise, how to understand the sequence, what to expect before, during, and after. And a lot of them are just, all right, here we go, and everybody's jumping around or they're pushing weights, and you're not getting really good instruction, and you get discouraged. I mean, I got discouraged. I don't want other people to go through that, and so I think that's the reason why I'm so meticulous about how I try to get people through a workout.
Well, and you're very real, which I respect, and the thing is you had successes. You worked hard for them, but they came your way. But at the same time, how did you handle, as you started to earn more money and get the recognition, how did you handle the freeloaders, the moochers, the people that were trying to kind of sway you in the wrong direction?
Well, interestingly enough, there were some people that I lent money to. They were friends that I had known who were struggling. And one of the rules when it comes to that is don't expect to get paid back, and that's okay. And then after a while, I had people write contracts. I said, hey, look, if you're going to need to borrow some money or you're going to need some help, let's get an attorney. And that usually would shun people away. They'd say, okay, they thought it was going to be easier than that. And then when I did that too, I got paid on time or beforehand. And, there's a certain way you kind of deal with folks that way. And, you're very clear and you're very honest with them. I discovered that honesty is the best policy. And so, lately, and when that comes up, I just say, hey, honestly, I can't help you right now. I've got some other financial things going on for myself, and the timing is wrong, and, maybe I can help you get a loan from somebody else. And it's just, just being honest and being direct with folks is the best way to do it.
I love that. And sometimes you just have to clean house. You have to reflect on who in my life is toxic and who is healthy. And it's okay to let some relationships go. It's perfectly fine.
That's exactly true. I'm doing a seminar about that very thing. The people in your life and the quality of your life have a lot in common. And so you have to kind of look at the people, who they are, and rate them on a 1 to 10 scale. And if you're getting a lot of 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, you have to begin to understand why you have them still in your life.
Exactly. And P90X worked out for you, right? Becoming a celebrity trainer worked out for you, but there were a lot of attempts at things that you tried that I guess one would say you failed at, but a lot of people may not know that. And to live full out really means that you have determination, you have a winning spirit, but you also have the grace and the ability to be humble and say, you know what, it just didn't work, and pick yourself up and move on. How has your experience been with that?
Well, since the very first program I did with Beachbody with Carl, which was Great Body Guaranteed, that was successful. It's very rare that you had success out of the box. And then there was Power 90, P90X, P90X 2 and 3, and 22-minute hardcore, and dozens in between. But on my own, as an entrepreneur, I had 23 failures. You can call them failures, but really they were just tremendous lessons, from insoles to mouth guards to home delivery food systems to apparel lines to TV pilots. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But the great thing is the goal is to hopefully understand that you've made certain mistakes, that maybe you're chasing something that isn't really your purpose or your passion. And so now I don't make those mistakes, because I turn those types of opportunities down, because for me, I know that my purpose is about fitness and food and nutrition and supplementation. That's my wheelhouse.
It's kind of like you want to stay in the lane that you know you're good at and do it well.
Stray so much. Yep, that's right.
Exactly. Now, I know you're coming up on 60, which is a beautiful number, but But recently, you've encountered your own health challenges. Everybody knows you as this fitness guru, and you're so in shape, but life happens. And so where is Tony Horton today with your ability to get back to where you want to be in shape, or where are you leading into the third act of your life? Because, again, people may not know where you are today with that.
Well, back in October, I got Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, and Ramsay-Hunt syndrome is a result of getting shingles in your ear. You can get shingles anywhere. You can get it on your forehead or your back, your shoulders, or your waist. But when you get it in your ear, it's not a good place. It's about the worst place you can get it, because you end up with Ramsay-Hunt. And Ramsay-Hunt affects your sense of smell, your taste, your vision, and especially your balance, which causes tremendous nausea. And it doesn't go away as soon as the shingles go away, because what happens is you've damaged I call it the gyroscope in one of your ears. It was my right ear. So now, still 7 months later, I have bilateral vestibular hypofunction, which is, I feel like a drunken sailor on a cruise ship in a hurricane some days. Some days I barely notice it, but it comes and goes in the course of an hour and a day. I'll have 2 good days and 1 bad. And so what it's allowed me to do is help me focus more on truly what's important, enjoy my friendships, exercise hard when I can, take the downtime when I have to, and not try to force things. And, as somebody who's legally blind, I'm sure you can relate, right? I mean, here you are, you've become this very successful individual that's helping thousands of people around the country. And for me, I want to speak for you, but for me, it's changed things, because it's helped me focus and understand truly what's important and to really, really enjoy life.
Well, and it's funny how our legacy gets built over time, and we think it's about reaching a certain status, but at the end of the day, it's how can I give back to others? How can I make someone else's life better? And Tony, you have done that to the 10th power. I mean, you are such a great example of what it means to live full out. So we've loved having you on the show. What would be your last piece of advice for our listeners today?
Well, I don't want to plug something, but I would say that if you find what I'm saying and what I'm talking about and my struggle and my successes, I have an event called the Paragon Experience in San Diego at the Lowe's Hotel down there on the 28th to the 30th of September. I'd love to have people come down. We've got great speakers, and to just tell folks to live for the day. The past is history, the future's a mystery. What do you have right now? So try to enjoy that.
You know what? I love that. And our topic today, going with the flow. And you've had to do that. I mean, that's kind of a mantra of yours too. I mean, life could have gone in so many different directions for you, but you kind of let each door open as they did, and it's led you to a successful career, very successful marriage, great friendships. And so again, I'm a friend of yours and I'm a fan of yours, and thank you so much for being on today's show.
Well, Nancy, I'm a fan of yours as well. Thank you for what you do, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Tony. And everybody listening today, I mean, Tony and I, we share a lot in common with following passion, taking risks, knowing that you're going to fail, but it's about going with the flow. It's about knowing that living full out is not just something that happens overnight. It's an experience. So let yourself experience life in a big way, and you will love it. Some days are going to be hard, but a lot of days you're going to be very proud of how you've come out on the other side. So stay with us. We're going to be taking your calls. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and it's all about going with the flow. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
They're going to jump out of trees. You can't stop them. They'll go down the slide head first. They'll make parachutes out of sheets. They'll balance on things that are impossible to balance on, like the back of a couch or a windowsill or a scooter seat. They'll run with sharp objects. They'll run into walls. They'll climb things that won't hold their weight. They'll put their fingers in places where they could get smashed. They'll drive their tricycles down steep hills. They'll bounce balls off their faces. They'll step on each other. They'll jump on each other. They'll invent whole new ways to put themselves in jeopardy. But one of the most dangerous things kids will do happens while they're sitting perfectly still. Kids who ride in a car without a booster seat are much more likely to suffer serious or fatal injury during a crash than kids in boosters. But amazingly, 80% of all kids who need them aren't in them. After a toddler seat and until they're 4'9", booster kids, and don't let them down.
Go to boosterseat.gov to learn more about the importance of boosters. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Have you ever lost a cat? And have you ever wanted to get your cat back after you lost it? I'm Andrew Hoffman. I invented the Lost Cat Magnet. Just turn it on and lost cats stick to it. Just listen to one satisfied cat. That's proof. You should invent stuff too. But remember, don't do a Lost Cat Magnet.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the National Inventors Hall of Fame Foundation, and the Ad Council.
We're your pets, and this song's dedicated to those people who don't have health insurance yet. Enroll, we say. We want you to be okay. Enroll, we say.
Health insurance is now affordable and covers prescriptions, hospitalizations, and preventive care. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn more.
And take care, people.
Brought to you by Get Covered America and the Ad Council.
To live full out means that you're willing to go with the flow. When you want something to happen in your life that you desire, that you've been working hard for, you just want to let life wash over you. Let the unexpected come your way. Know that you're probably going to make some times where you're going to fail or have a mistake, and that's okay, because the lessons that you can learn in that will make you stronger. That's what will enable you to live your life full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out show. And as we've been talking about going with the flow, that is something that is sometimes hard to do because we kind of live in a what's in it for me, instant gratification society. We want things now, and we're not patient. Even as kids, right? We want our presents. We want to open them as quickly as we can. And maybe as adults, we want to open those gifts as quickly as we can. But either way, the thing is patience is something that comes with time. But if you can really develop that skill and go with the flow and know that all that you're working for, all that you are today is just as it should be. I hope you really hear that. Where you are today is right where you should be. It is a lesson that you are learning maybe in life. It might be a health struggle that you're going through, but at the same time, you can see the friends and family that stand by your side. Maybe you're learning things that you didn't know before. Maybe you're going through a career challenge or a change, and yet that stresses you out. You always have to remember that if you hang in there, if you stay positive, surround yourself with positive people, supportive people, you will get to the other side, but you cannot give up. You always want to believe. You always want to trust your instincts. That's what it means to go with the flow. Now, we're going to go to the phone lines. We have a caller waiting. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out show.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, thank you for calling. Yes.
I was calling today. What I need, I think, is a little bit of motivation. I have a heart condition and some other physical, and I tell myself all the time, the doctors say walk, and I do tell myself that, but by the time life happens, I go to work, come home, take care of my kids, I'm exhausted, and really I just want to go to bed. Having a really hard time getting myself, I know what I have to do, but I can't seem to get myself
going. The thing is I get what you're saying, because even I have really long days as well. And what I've learned is that if I don't work out in the morning, which for me would be like 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., that time frame, it's not going to happen later. And so what you want to do is you want to try to figure out what is that pocket of time that would work best for you to take a walk. Maybe it is a block of an hour, but maybe even an hour is too long. And when that's the case, you want to take the snippets of time that you can get. 10 minutes. Walk out the door, walk around the block, get your energy level up, and then go back to what you're doing. Or take the stairs rather than the escalator or the elevator. Or when you're at a restaurant and you really want that burger, well, go ahead and maybe get the salad, but find something on the side that will give you not as many carbs as the burger, but give you an ability to feel like you are satisfied. It's just kind of about making choices. But at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with the way that you've been living your life, because you've been living it full out. You've been taking care of your family. You've been doing what you need to at work. But remember that all of those people, you are such an important, pivotal person for them in their life that you have to take care of you. You are, even you being here on this show today, sharing your story, sharing your challenge, you've inspired one other person, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of people just by stepping up today. So we want you to live full out. We want you to play big. So what is something that you can commit to this week that you'll do?
This week, I'm going to say I will try to wake up in the morning and walk.
Okay. So
I'm thinking maybe I don't know if I set an alarm, maybe.
Okay, so let's look at this. And actually, a lot of callers go there too. One of the words you used was try. One of the words you used was maybe. You want to take out try and take out maybe and say, I will, I can, I'm going to. More assertive. And you betcha, set that alarm and don't expect that you're going to wake up all happy. Set that alarm, jump up, throw yourself in the shower. It doesn't have to be the shave your legs and wash your hair. It's just to refresh yourself. When you get out of that shower, put on your workout clothes and out you go. Or maybe get up, have a cold glass of water, something to switch that energy in your body. But I believe in you. I know you can do this. Do you know that you can do this?
Yes, I know I can do it.
So now she's speaking the word can. Look at that.
I wrote that down. I will, I can.
You will, you can, because you're worth it. Your family's worth it. But I really want you to live your life full out. And Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So just be good to yourself. 10 minutes a day. Then it's 20 minutes and go from there. Okay? But thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you, too.
And for everybody who called in today, we're so excited that you've shared your stories with us. Thank you, Tony Horton, for inspiring us today. If you want to hear this show again or any of our shows, make sure you go to livingfullout.com. Click on the radio show tab because we're on Alexa, iPhone, Android. There's so many different ways in which you can listen to the show. I also want to thank our entire Living Full Out family. We have Rich and Aaron and Riley and Bailey and Amanda, you name it. Everybody's dedicated to helping you live your life full out. We will see you next week. Love y'all. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.